Hi, everyone. Welcome to this month's Tech Talk. We are doing a slightly different Tech Talk this time. We're going to go back to one of our oldies but goodies because the holidays are upon us. It's Thanksgiving, and I'm sure you're going to be watching this instead of enjoying your turkey and your family. But in the meantime, I want to set it up in terms of what we're going to show you again. The episode that we're going to reshare with you is the one we did on our advanced phishing protection. The reason that's important is that during the holidays, phishing takes off. That's the time when the rest of us are resting and relaxing and enjoying our families. But that is the time that the adversaries are active because they feel nobody's in the office. If they have any dormant devices sitting inside their network, inside your network, they're taking advantage of the time that nobody is probably watching, and they kick off attacks. The reason we're sharing advanced phishing is the number one route to infest a customer environment is to go through email. And while email hygiene solutions do a great deal of blocking and tackling and preventing malware from getting into the environment, they really don't impact malware that already exists in a inbox. They only deal with malware that is going through the gateway, inbound or outbound. Our advanced phishing protection is a lot like network threat analysis, but it's inbox threat analysis, and it scours the inboxes of your Office 365 mailboxes and finds threats and blocks them from ever getting to the user. So in this time where the holidays are upon us and the ransomware script kiddies are out there trying to get somebody clicking on a link, this is a great time for us to reshare this episode about advanced phishing protection. Hope you have a wonderful holiday with your family, and look forward to seeing you again next month.
Today's topic is really talking about the advanced phishing, that first layer of defense. And we're doing a good job of teaching our people what to look for. And a lot of our people are getting better, but they're not perfect. And all it takes is one mistake. All it takes is one piece of malware to make its way to an endpoint, survive undetected, and then spread internally and cause problems.
Well, there's a reason we kind of call it social engineering, right?
Yeah.
Or the bad guys are so adept at playing off of something that's going on out there, emotion. COVID, we've seen a tremendous spike in phishing because people are anxious and people are looking for information, and they're up against an adversary that's much more savvy than they are, using weapons that they are not familiar with. And so organizations can't rely on humans for this line of defense. We just can't.
And we can't rely on the edge protections that we created in our offices with firewalls and with proxies and so on and so forth, because those don't extend to the home unless you have everybody VPN in, and most of us don't have infrastructure that can support that. Hence, we're seeing this massive spike in zero trust networks becoming exciting. And I agree with the concept of zero trust networks, but it's just another firewall. It's just another VPN. It's just a new name. So we can't get caught in the muck with this concept. It is the right thing for some applications, but the reality is we have to figure out how to treat that bastion host sitting out in the middle of the desert, if you will, as if it was its own castle, and protect them. So this is where we advocate you have to have an advanced phishing protection, not just education. You have to block the phishing threats, the impersonations, the spear phishing attempts. There's some of the most current things that are happening right now is the phishers are trying to impersonate an employee and reach out to finance and say, change my direct deposit bank account. And finance is doing it because they're not seeing that this is not John Smith, it's Jay Smith, and Jay Smith looks fine. I'm pretty sure I know who Jay Smith is. He's right down the hall, or used to be, and so they're getting more and more creative, to Kirsten's point. And so how do we prevent that from ever happening? And what we've done with our advanced phishing protection is created an AI-based integration with Office 365 that looks at the emails, looks at the headers, looks at your address book. And when there is a message that comes in from Jay Smith and there is no Jay Smith in your address book, and it appears to be from your company, that's automatically flagged as no and gets blocked. So your users don't have to be used as the tool to protect you. We use artificial, let's call it a virtual user that is hyper trained
Yeah.
on being able to identify these threats. Other things that we used to see a lot of before we deployed this for ourselves was at least once a week we would get text messages and emails from our CEO to our finance team saying, I'm in this part of the country and I need some funds transferred to this account. And fortunately, our before our advanced phishing went into place, our awareness training had helped, and none of those actually got through. But like I said, all it takes is one, and we've effectively given money to somebody unwittingly. Mm-hmm. So I, for one, prefer not to take the risk that my users are hyper aware 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. I'd like to account for that. Let's just say that the training is perfect and you're going to get a 1% failure rate. I'd like to plan for that 1% failure rate, because like I said, if that malware comes down and takes hold on a machine, then typically a threat is not detected inside of a network for 6 months. So that adversary now has 6 months to root around your network, and the way they got in was through a phishing attack. So right. This is the most critical of the, even though we didn't have it in our trifecta before, the fourfecta, with the addition of the first layer being advanced phishing protection, is probably one of the most critical pieces. It's the first line of defense. It is the moat, if you will.